Next hot take: Joe Biden.
I am disappointed
Uh,
that
it, in what sense?
I just I mean it just feels like a quieter continuation of Trump. Like like
Hmm.
kind of like a less annoying like we didn't have to deal with the
So you would
day
say
to
it's
day.
you'd say it's more of a quiet Trump than a like return to Obama.
It feels like that to me, but I also don't think I was as in tune with what was happening
Hmm.
during the Obama years,
Hmm.
just because I was a little bit younger. Um,
Yeah, I
so it
remember
made
like the
yeah
the first time I got to vote was for Obama, and the only reason I voted for him is because he was black, and it felt
yeah
good to do that.
yeah. I mean, like I actually the first time I got to vote was was the Trump Hillary
Hmm.
election,
Oh, that must
and
have sucked.
the thing was is I actually I didn't vote because my registration had not gone through when I
Oh,
went to the there's this weird thing
you needed to
and
register to vote in Maryland.
it well I had it was I was in Pennsylvania at the time,
Hmm.
so I had to register to vote there,
Gotcha.
and it was actually it's actually kind of sketchy where I had they had all of these uh like I don't know, like tents set up, when we first moved to school there,
Hmm.
like the move-in day, and you can sign, and they were saying like register to vote, that day, and signed up, and I was like, I like asked them like, is this all I have to do? Are there any other steps, kind of thing?
Hmm.
And they were like, no, there's no other steps, but I guess there were other steps. I literally had to like the step was just to call them and confirm that the all of the information was correct,
Hmm.
and they didn't inform me of that. And I guess the mail did not like I checked my mail, I guess, after like when I came home, or like when they sent me back
Hmm.
from the ballot, saying you can't vote. But I did a provisional ballot. But luckily, I was in Philadelphia, which I wasn't too worried about where it would go there.
Hmm.
I mean, Joe Biden. I mean, it just seems there's still things continuing. It uh, uh, I hoped to say was too optimistic or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, like he has like had a shit start. I mean, like picking up the COVID epidemic was like pandemic. There's no way that could have been like excellent.
Smooth, yeah. I mean, yeah. It just
But then like his next big thing was like the pulling out of Afghanistan, and that was like it was necessary, but it was also an absolute mess. Whoever did it was going to have to like they were gonna they were gonna be taking a big hit in polls after that. But
yeah.
like
I mean, and some of the border crisis stuff feels like worse, or border crisis, or whatever you want to call it. I mean,
like our
it
concentration
just
camps, you mean?
feels worse, and like especially all of the stuff that I was seeing with like Kamala Harris visiting like a like one of the concentration camps, like, and like talking about the amenities there, and like it was like it just seemed so dystopic, like
Mm-hmm.
the quality of it was just very alarming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and now everything is still just like new mask mandates, requirements for like everything like news wise that I'm seeing from Ukraine right now is like uh, just different industries, different people like leaving work, soldiers getting discharged because they refuse to get vaccinations, and like every other day, it's like a new announcement from like Fauci or from Biden doing some sort of like you need to wear masks, you need to get vaccinated.
Well, that's
And
the thing, like literally, like it does,
it's such a
like,
political thing, and it's so obnoxious.
well, it also just feels kind of just as like changing as during Trump's presidency.
Hmm.
I think like from what it feels like, there's still like different people in that, in authority figures saying kind of different things. So it's like literally like every day you're like, which article did you read? Or like which announcement did you hear to
Hmm.
know like, I'm vaccinated, so I'm not going to wear the mask indoor, like all these kind of details
Hmm.
that seem to be like, even though it's not like the injecting bleach idea that Trump had, but it's like it's still these like still you still have questions, kind of like what do I do
Hmm.
exactly, you know, because things are still really chaotic with it.
I mean, in that sense, yeah, I guess it is still kind of like a pickup from Trump, but at the same time, like, it's more in my estimation, it's more like, things are falling apart rather than they're being actively dismantled. Which, like in Trump's case, like his every head of every department that like Trump put in charge of, that put somebody in charge of, they were there specifically to dismantle it, like Scott Pruitt for the EPA, or Betsy DeVos for the education department. Like they were specifically there to dismantle regulations against, abuse, people who would like be abusing things in various industries. And then at least with Biden, it's just like, it seems like right now it is almost specifically just like it's concentration camps, Afghanistan, and COVID.
Yeah,
Which
but I
like,
mean, at the same time, like it does, like even though you have someone like in the, say these cabinet roles, like you have some people there that they seem like they're going to do something that's not backwards,
mhm.
it still feels like it's not forwards necessarily.
Yeah,
Where like that's the kind of why I say disappointing, because it's like, it was sort of it felt like happy day,
uh-huh,
when when Biden won the election, right?
uh-huh.
Because it felt forward, I guess. But to me, at least a little bit on that day, at least. But the thing is that it still feels like the Democrats could actually, because they hold the majority in,
The Senate.
yeah, that they can still do stuff, but they're
Yeah, but we
not.
also still got fucking Joe Manchin, like siding with
Yeah, I mean,
Republicans for
yeah,
everything.
I don't know. It just feels like, I mean, I don't know if it's just because I am less aligned with, I'm not aligned with Republican agenda, but it feels like they get more done. That's
Oh,
my,
absolutely. No, that's
like,
undebatable.
yeah. So it's just because yeah. I mean, it feels like now that they're working together to stall things.
Yeah, Democrats are like, they're elected to get nothing done or lose to Republicans, whereas Republicans are elected to oppose Democrats and do Republican things. I think that's like the big difference. Democrats
Right.
just oppose things; they don't put things forward, which is like the really unfortunate, circumstance. That's why they're not designed to win. You know.
Yeah. It's not good.
Um I remember, so like that first election you said, with Hillary Clinton and Trump. I remember that year I had like one of like the single worst days of my life where like first I watched, I might have told the story before on a different podcast, I don't remember. But like it was that day, it was the day of the California primary. I watched a movie with one of my sisters. It was Days of Future Past, the X-Men movie, which was just a fucking mess. And then driving home, we saw like a fox like limp across the street, and I dropped my sister off home, and I went to go pick up the fox, like because it seemed injured, and I wanted to like take it to like a shelter or something. And I found it, and it bit me. But that was only because I was kind of being an idiot. But like I called a cop, and we tried to call shelters. Nobody was going to take it. But like because I had gotten bitten, I had to go to like the hospital to get rabies shots, and they needed to take the fox so that they can see whether or not it has rabies. So I tried to help this fox. It seemed nice after it bit me. It like was completely calmed down and let me carry it and stuff. But again, not supposed to be doing that. But so I go to the hospital. They give me like 5 or 6 shots with like needles like this long into my hand where I got bit. and they fill it with interferon, which is essentially plastic. In order to stop, if there is an infection, it'll stop the infection. So my hand is like fully inflated at like two a.m. in the morning because it took them that fucking long to get like somebody to come to me. And Hillary Clinton won the Democratic primary over Bernie Sanders, and that would have been the one where he could have been the candidate if he had won there.
Right. Yeah.
I fucking hate Hillary Clinton.
Yeah. I mean, that would have been great if you